Welcome to Catholic Mom Talks. Saint Teresa of Avila was an incredible saint. She was a mystic and a nun. She's also a doctor of the church. And she has an incredible book called Interior Castles. And this book is based on the idea of this huge castle. And the castle represents our soul. And it's very, very interesting because there's different rooms inside the castle. On the outside of the castle, there are demons or the enemy that camps outside the castle trying to get in. And this is kind of similar to how the enemy tries to pursue us. It's really a great read. It's a mystical writing, so it takes a lot of discernment and maybe some help from a theologian or a monk to help you get through it. But it is a great reference for the spiritual journey, the spiritual life. And I often think about, how does the enemy set camp outside our castles or our souls? And, well, he does by temptations, of course. But he gets his foot in the door through different avenues. And those avenues are often not what we may think. You could be at a fair or a carnival, and they may have a fortune teller there that might want to read your fortune. This type of thing lets the enemy in. Pornography lets the enemy in. A serious sin lets the enemy in. Addiction to sin lets the enemy in. And what people don't realize is that if you go allowing these things to happen in your life, you're inviting the enemy or evil spirits into your life. Now, this can be very, very dangerous. It's also in an opposition to your soul, to the progress that your soul should be making with Jesus. So it's so important to renounce these things. And how do we do that? Well, for a Catholic, you go to confession. And in confession, you ask God for forgiveness and you're released from those sins, and the enemy will now leave you alone in those areas. He'll try to tempt you as much as he can, but he won't have a foothold on your spirit. And I think that's so important to recognize. A lot of people in the past or historically have gotten oppressed through different things like the Ouija board, pornography, things of this nature. So be awake, stay awake. And I think that's what Jesus talks about when he's saying stay awake. It means be aware, be on the out or the lookout for where he may try to get his ugly foot in the door into our hearts or into our spirits, and don't let him in. And if you've ever seen that cartoon where you have the three little monkeys, one's covering their eyes, the other one's covering their ears, the other one's covering their mouth, it's see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. So at all costs, do everything in your power to avoid the near occasion of sin, or anything that will lead you into sin, or anything that will invite the enemy to attack your castle. Thanks for listening.